don't stall, sputter, or split the difference. Proven to get you where you need to be and take you where you never thought you'd go. Your path is fierce and turbulent, but you are made for this journey. KMC is made for this journey.
There's only one place to go to do your rig right, and that's at 4-Wheel Parts. Now is the time for bigger tires and larger wheels. Now is the time to lift your truck at 4WP.
Mark, why does the Growers Company buy Ford? Is there any particular reason for that?
Yes, we do, because we depend on a good product, and Ford has been good to us in the past. We put a lot of miles on our vehicles, and they hold up for us, Joe.
And it was a long time ago, Mark, but you're still buying Ford trucks from Alexander Ford.
We sure do, and we get the same great service even today at Alexander Ford.
Alexander Ford. We were here for you then, here for you now, and long into the future. A difference you can count on.
Over 25 years of off-road racing dominance. Proprietary patented race technology. Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions. King Shocks. The leader in off-road shock technology.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Here we go once again with your next score, Baja 500 update here on Fishgistics. All these brought to you by F&L Racing Fuel and presented by KMC Wheels all day long today. Big thanks to all of our sponsors that help us out. You can see a couple more of them over here. We got Jeff Alford, Alford Distribution, Michelob Ultra. We're going to have some of those after the race. 4-Wheel Parts, Joey D, Craig Scanlon, everybody over there. King, Rigid. I changed my hat today. I found another new one. Rigid, BFG, Alexander Ford, who's having a really good run so far, knock on wood, UTVsource.com, and of course, Satellite Phone Store. Big thanks to all those guys for helping us out, and it makes it worth all of us being able to do all this and gives us some resources down in Baja to get you guys information too. So the race is coming down to the final 80 miles or so, less than 100 miles to go, probably even less than that since I looked a minute ago. So let's bring up the screen and check it out. We got to scroll up almost. These guys are hauling the mail right now. Okay, they just entered Santa Tomas. They are back on the highway. And let's see, just gonna update. Yeah, they are literally right on top of each other. I'm gonna get you guys a split time. Travis Clark is sitting right here on the highway. He is gonna text me a split between Luke McMillan right here and Andy McMillan. So this is, for those of you who don't know, this is Santa Tomas. You come down, you join on the normal road back in right about here. Then you come down the last little curves, speed zone, get on the highway. 25 seconds. There we go. Thank you, Travis. 25 seconds. That means that Luke McMillan is in front of Andy McMillan by 25 seconds. However, remember this goes on time. Andy McMillan started 1 minute behind Luke McMillan. That means that Andy McMillan is actually winning right now. Andy McMillan is winning on corrected time. Luke McMillan's going to have to put more than 25 seconds back on Andy in this last section if he's going to want to win this race. Very, very close racing, and I don't know who's going to win. It's going to come down to who has a better run through European. Now, behind them, we don't want to count these guys out yet either because we never know. Larry Rossler back here in the 43 kind of sneaking up, along with John Lennon, with Ryan Millen driving the 73. So don't count out the 73 and the 43 yet. They're not out of this race. Even Tavo right back here. You never know. You got to get through this Europan section, and this last section through Europan is not fun. It is rough. It is silty. It is just a lot of rain ruts. It's not really a fun section. When we pre-ran, we didn't even run that section on purpose. We just wanted to go back to Ensenada because we knew that was not a fun section, and we had to go home that day. So we didn't want to go through there and take a chance of something happening in the last minute there. Although I wasn't really worried about it because I have my Polaris Razor. But the guys in the Can-Am were a little worried about it maybe. Just having some fun with those guys. Anyways, all right, back up to the front. Like I said, they're on the highway right here in Santa Tomas. Luke McMillan first, Andy McMillan 25 seconds back, actually winning on time, almost a mile 400. They only have 69 miles to go. Luke McMillan is gonna have to put some time back on Andy here. Now check this out. This is gonna be a bit of a problem possibly. See these numbers right here? These are the bikes. These are bikes that are ahead of him. So right now, Luke McMillan has clean air. However, he's going to be catching these bikes before Andy is right here. Now, some of these bikes, it looks like there's mostly bikes. I don't see quads. Here's one quad all the way up here. The quad is going to make a bit more dust than the bikes are. So for Luke coming up behind the bikes, it's probably not too big of a deal. However, you still got to be able to get around the bikes safely. So that could cost Luke a little bit of time here. Is a great race. It's really going to come down to seconds. This is going to be another one of those second, I mean, less than a minute, obviously. Right now, we're talking about 25 seconds. So we'll see. Some of these Baja 500s, we've had some close races like that. Now, back the next group back a little ways is the 11, Rob McCachran and Dan McMillan. They've kind of just been cruising along back here. Not really on pace with the front guys, but just on pace right behind the front guys. Those front couple guys, 3, including Bryce Menzies, had just checked out most of the day. And then, some of you guys, if you didn't watch the last update, Bryce Menzies has had fuel issues or fuel pickup, something in the cell, something going on with the fuel pickup all day. He had to call it a race. They weren't getting enough fuel pressure, so it was actually hurting the motor. So he had to turn it off and call it a race. So bummer for Bryce Menzies. Chris Miller is in his Spec trophy truck. That's not his Mason trophy truck right there either, by the way, guys. That is his Spec TT. He had some problems with the other truck, couldn't get parts in time, so they raced the Spec TT. The 19 was running up front earlier today. They must have had some problems because they've been dropping back now. They had a really good run going earlier. I know that for most of the day we were talking about them, they were in the top 5 or 6 most of the day. Now they've dropped back a little bit from there. The lead Legends truck is still the 37L. That's your lead Legends car. And then right here, right behind him, we have Ryan Hancock, the Alexander Ford truck with Jordan Poole. That's your lead Spec truck right there. They're actually up pretty high. They're in the top 10 trophy trucks. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to see. They're in the top 10 overall, actually, at this point. That's pretty impressive for a Spec truck, especially the Baja 500. Usually you see some Spec trucks do okay at the Baja 1000, because it's so long and they just keep going. But this is a really good run. They're ahead of Jonathan Brenthal. They've passed all the 1 cars. So check that out. All the 1 cars have got passed by the lead Spec truck. The first 1 car is going to be right here, Brock Dickerson. Then we did have a good race going on in Class 1, but now we've had some attrition, which is normal for Class 1. And let's turn, here's Robbie Gordon, just so you guys don't ask me. Robbie Gordon is out. He's making his way down the race course and out to the highway, the same way as Alan Impudia. He's out. He's on a trailer getting towed. 727 out. These guys are all out that are coming down here. Let's go and load Class 1. We did have a really good race going earlier, I said. Now it's been a little bit not as good of a race. We have Brock Dickerson kind of checking out on everybody. And then we have Brian Wilson, the 138. He is in second place. And then we have a gap back here. Cullen is out. They came across the crossover road. They blew a motor. All the way, Brad Wilson, it looks like he's broken. He's been sitting there for a while. The 163, broken, been sitting for a while. 179 broken, been sitting for a while. So the Class 1 race went from a really good race, all of them within 3 miles to each other, to complete carnage in Class 1. And that's kind of the problem with these Class 1 cars. You know, they're very fragile. It's very hard to get these Class 1 cars to live, especially when you're in a rough race. That was quite a big rough section they came over. They don't like to live. You know, the Class 1 cars have a lot of I mean, you can see there's 5 sitting there broken now that, you know, earlier were running. So definitely a bummer for the Class 1 guys. But Brock Dickerson doesn't think it's a bummer right now. He thinks it's pretty cool because he's out front. Now, looking at the Class 10 cars, we have Freddie Willert. They've been leading the last couple updates. They're still in front, but the 1009 is very close behind them. So that is very very close behind them. The 1026 is Arturo, or sorry, 1027. That's going to be your 3rd place Class 1, and then or Class 10, and then it's a ways back to the rest. We have the 1045 in 4th place. Chase Warren, who was leading all day and then got caught up in a bottleneck and really cost him a lot of time. He is back in 5th or 6th, 1001, and the 1029. So that is that. Somebody said, Mike Nielsen said, was told Brad threw a belt. They're working on it. All right, so there you go. That was an update for Brad Wilson back over here on the beach in the 153. I was told they threw a belt and they're working on it. So hopefully the Wilson car will get going again. And Dickerson has to put 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the 138. Yeah, so due to the starting order, so you can see 138's here. It looks like he has over 4 minutes on him right now. He's up here. So he's probably got at least 5 or 6 minutes right there, but he does have to keep a good gap, 4 minutes, 30 seconds there. Somebody said course worker has been hit at the road crossing going code red. All right, well, that's not good. Hopefully they're not too bad and they can get the course worker picked up. You know, these course workers do have kind of a sketchy job out there, especially the road crossings, trying to flag down all the local traffic and then get the race cars coming through while they're stopped. It's definitely not a really fun job, honestly. So hopefully that course worker is going to be okay there. Let's go and look at the rest of the trophy truck specs since we were just talking about them. So the only trophy truck spec that we have that's up here is going to be the Ryan Hancock, like you said. Then second, they got a good little lead now on the 258, Justin Davis. He was also second last update. The 234, Jason McNeil, he was 3rd last update. He's still there. And Pierce Herbst is running 4th. He is he's coming along. So it's a pretty good run between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, just like last update. I remember saying that same thing. So good race there. Vincent Munoz, old 1450 guy, is back here in 5th. That's good. He's having a really good run. There was 26 of these, and he's running top 5. And he doesn't have a top super expensive truck either. So it's always really cool to see him having a good run down here in Baja. A little bit more budget friendly spec truck there. Then the 295, and then it's a ways back to the rest of them. So what are you guys saying here in the comments? Is Bryce Menzies out? Yes, Bryce is out. He had fuel delivery issue. He is out. Class 11. Yeah, we're gonna go look at them. Don't worry. Let's go look at Class 7. Let's see, Class 7. Here we go. So earlier it was Proctor leading Class 7 earlier by a long ways, and let's see if he still is. And it looks like he still is. So Jeff Proctor, the Honda truck. That is Pat Daly in there now. So we have Pat Daly and Michael Loomis in the truck, bringing it up the beach section. They are at mile 287, doing 41 miles an hour. Then all the way back, we're going to go all the way back over here to 217. So they have about a 70-mile lead at this point in Class 7, which is pretty crazy. 70-mile lead. And then in 3rd, we have Dan Shamley. And in 4th, we have Scott Brady, but he's at 0 miles an hour right now. So that's your look at your Class 7. And behind them, the 7F class, we have Arturo is moving, is moving. Another one right here, 714, Justin Park. And that looks like about it for Class 7. What other class do you guys want to see? 1600. Let's go check on them. A lot of them were stuck in bottlenecks earlier when we looked. So let's see who is. Anybody down south? Nope. All right. So the first car is going to be, all right, the 1600 car, your class champion, Eli Lee, is leading currently over the 1621. Kevin Sanchez. 1680 is at 0 miles an hour. That's one of those bottlenecks. And then you have a couple more back here in this other bottleneck at 176. 2 more class 16 cars back in that bottleneck there. So still some bottleneck action going on in class 1600. If we look at class 11, here we go, guys. 7 of them. See how many are going. All right, this is not good. We don't see any down here. That's not too good. We do have one right here, though. Alex Gonzalez is moving 32 miles an hour at just about at mile 170. So he is still moving. Very good news. Back up here, this is not good news. We have 2 of them stopped right next to each other. Well, one stopped. Eric Slorenzo is at 0 miles an hour at mile 158. That's definitely not good. And then the 1145 is about stopped right behind him. So not looking too good there. And then it's a ways back to these other ones. 1131 and 1169, and they're not even a mile 150 yet. That's gonna be tough to finish in the time limit there. The time limit for this race is 20 hours, just so you guys know. And they got off the line probably, we'll just say noon, probably a little bit before noon. So they're gonna have until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to finish. So they still have 13 hours, 14 hours to go, but they got a ways to go. Good news is once they get down here, the second half is much faster, like we've talked about earlier. So that will be interesting. Class 12, let's go look at them for you guys. Score lights. Looks like the leader is down south. The 1212 is right at mile 250, doing 21 miles an hour. Then it's a little gap back up to the 1216 and the 1208. That's good racing, class 12. Look at this. We got 3 class 12 cars within a couple miles of each other, fighting for second, third, and fourth. So we have the 1208 just updated, 1216, and the 1211, all fighting for second, third, and fourth in class 12. But they are all trailing the 1202 right now. So that's a good look at class 12. Let's see, is Blake racing? Yes, Blake Wilkie is getting in the 1111 over on the Pacific side. So they have to make it over and down here somewhere. He's going to get in somewhere over here. I don't remember exactly what mile, but he is going to get in on the Pacific side. So hopefully they can get the car over there and get it to him so you can get in the car. How about class 12? Okay, we looked at them. UTVs. Yep, we're going to go look at the Polaris sponsored UTV updates. So the forced induction. Here we go. The UTVs are smoking a lot of people this race. Look at how far some of them are. We have Phil Blurton. Looks like he is leading. And then right behind him, 2 on top of each other, we have Brandon Schuler and Austin Weiland. And that was Rob McCachran's kid in there, Caden. He was driving that one, the Jagged X car. Austin Weiland, look at that, they just moved. They're right on top of each other. 0.1 miles an hour difference. They're a tenth of a mile apart. So literally on each other's bumpers. Very good race there between those top 3. Then the Brandon Sims is going to be 4th. Back over to Mike in the 2975. Looks like he's going to be 5th. And then we have the 2940 and the 2948 at 0 miles an hour. That could be a pit where Matt Burrows is, though. Some people pit off some of these roads. You can see the access road comes in right there. That might be a pit. So I wouldn't be too worried about that one at 0 miles an hour just yet, unless it stays like that for a little bit. All right, let's go look at Kristen Matlock, see how much, if she's beating everybody yet. So let's see. All right, the leader is, okay, Zach Sideslove is back in front. Adrian, Caden Wells, and then where's Kristen Matlock? Back here, 0 miles an hour at 178. So it looks like she either had a problem. Is that a bottleneck? Okay, that is not a bottleneck where she's at. So she is definitely broken. Not good news for Kristen Matlock there. That's not a good spot to be. That's one of those spots I've been talking about all day where there is nowhere in or out of there except for the race course pretty much. Yeah, you got to fix it or get drug out of there by another race car. You're not getting a chase car in there, and you're definitely not getting a trailer in there. So bummer for Kristen Matlock. Hopefully she can get it going again, or they'll be helicoptering that car out of there. So let's see, the Pro Open class. So this is the Open class. Is 1870 is leading. Justin Ellenberg. Then we have 1871. Wayne Matlock in second, but he's sitting at 0 miles an hour. Josh Herzing in third. He's also at 0 miles an hour. And 1898 Cameron at 0 miles an hour. So the Pro UTV Open class not looking very good right now, except for Justin. He is the only one actually moving in that class. He's your leader, and he is, that's probably why he's your leader. He's the only one moving. Everybody else is currently broken or stuck in a bottleneck. All right, so I think we covered pretty much every class that has a lot of entries. I haven't really talked about some of these other classes because they don't have very many entries in them, guys. So if you're just joining us, the 5X was the bike winner. 5X finished earlier. Let's go and look back at the front one more time, and then let's try to figure out a finish time here. All right, so we have 60 miles to go. I'm going to say it's pretty much going to be about an hour. It might even be a little more because remember that the speed limit in the speed zones up here is 37 miles an hour. And there's about 20 miles of speed zone to come. So that's almost going to take an hour just right there, 45 minutes. So we're looking at least an hour, 7:30, 8 to 8. Probably going to be close to 8 o'clock before they, maybe 7:30 before your lead car finishes. They're going to have some traffic, bike traffic to deal with, and then they will be coming in. So we'll go live again at 7. It is still Luke McMillan right now. He was winning by 25 seconds as of a few minutes ago, which means that Andy McMillan is actually winning on time, which is the important one to be winning on. So we will keep an eye on that, and then we'll come back at 7 for sure for the finish. If it's going to be before 7, I'll go live before 7, but I don't think it's going to be. So we'll come on live at 7, and we'll probably stay on here until the finish because it's probably going to be right about now, maybe 7:30. So we'll just keep it live. Get your guys' updates ready for me at 7 o'clock. I'll update pretty much every one you guys want to see because we're going to try to drag that update out until we get a finish. We want to be live for the finish here. So it's going to be, what do you guys think? Is it going to be Luke McMillan or Andy McMillan? Or you think it's going to be the 73 or the 43? It's going to be one of those 4 cars right there, honestly. And it's probably going to be Luke or Andy. So unless something catastrophic happens to both of them, which you never know, it's desert racing. So get your bets in. Everybody place your bets. Let's see who's right. At this point, I'm liking Andy's chance just because all he has to do is sit right there. He doesn't even have to pass Luke. You got to be clean through here, though. No flat tires. You got to be clean. This Europan section is gnarly. So we'll see. But Luke has, a little bit of an advantage being in front, but he doesn't really because he doesn't know where Andy is. I would take Andy's spot right here all day. And I think almost any racer, if you asked them, would rather be in Andy's spot right here, knowing that you have a minute on him. All you have to do is finish within a minute. Somebody says, I think Dan will get 4th. Actually, we were just talking about that. Dan McMillan is almost in prime position right here for a 4th place finish on time, possibly. If 1 or 2 of these trucks in front of him has an issue, Dan McMillan could be sliding right into that 4th place spot. But we'll see. I think at this point he would be stoked on a 4th place though. After starting that far back in the thing, we'll see. Andy drove the entire race. Yeah, Andy drove the entire race. Luke drove the entire race. John Lennon actually. Oh, look at 0.5. They're probably doing a fuel splash right there. That was Ryan Millen. He drove from mile 70. So he's been the same driver in there since mile 70. And Larry Rossler, I believe, is driving the whole race. I just have not confirmed that for sure. But I believe Larry usually probably would drive the whole 500. I don't think he would get out. But he might. We don't know. All right. We'll see you guys back here at 7 o'clock with your next update here on Fishgistics. Once again, thanks to all of our sponsors, especially F&L Fuel, KMC Wheels, 4-Wheel Parts, everybody that makes all this stuff happen. It makes it, like I said, King Shocks, everybody on board, and thanks to all of you guys. What happened to Gordon? Gordon broke a trailing arm. Robbie Gordon has been out for a while. He broke a trailing arm earlier. Justin Lofton did get going again, I was told a little bit ago. So Justin Lofton got his throttle body fixed, and he got going again a little bit ago. So I think that's about it. We'll see you guys back at 7 o'clock.
There's nothing wrong with looking good, but when riding is your passion, it's performance that matters. Like having the off-road's most advanced suspension. It monitors input from driver and machine 200 times every second and automatically adjusts each shock to flatten corners, soak up the bumps, and handle the hazards. Confidence and control for those who live to ride. Polaris, think outside.
RJ, you got the green light.
Following Rigid's legendary quality, The all-new Adapt E-Series has a seamless beam transition and an integrated active power management system that will constantly monitor your vehicle's battery state. The Adapt E-Series will make adjustments to the light output, maximizing performance based on the vehicle's capacity. Designed with 3 unique optic combinations for close-range, slow-speed driving, moderate speeds, and long-range, high-speed driving, a seamless beam transition is achieved through an internal GPS, automatically adjusting optic zones and beam paths based upon the vehicle's speed. The Adapt E-Series, the next evolution in off-road lighting.